Welcome. In this playthrough Marvel Champions of Card Games, Spider-Man and Venom continue on with Scenario 4 of the Rise of the Red Skull campaign against Zola. So for our setup here, going with Zola, got a Schema 2, Attack 2, Retaliate 1, which is going to be a problem. When revealed, search and counter deck and discard pile for the test subject side scheme and reveal it, and hit points of 14 per player. Then our test subjects, when defeated, the first player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until they discard a minion and reveal that minion. It's going to get us an extra encounter card if we don't deal with that, and it comes in a 4 threat on it. Then in the Island of Dr. Zola, showing we're using the Under Attack modular set. For setup, search encounter deck for the Hydra Prison and reveal it. Each player searches encounter deck for a copy of the Ultimate Bio Servant, puts it into play, gauge with him, shuffle the encounter deck. Then we have a threshold of 6 per player on this. We've got 2 main schemes. Force response, after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place a test counter here. Then if there are 3 or more test counters here, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until minion's discarded. Put that minion into play, engage with the first player, and remove 3 test counters from the scheme. So we look over at the Hydra Prison. When revealed, each player searches their deck, discard pile in hand for a hero-specific ally, and places it face down beneath the scheme. Place X threat on this scheme, where X is the total cost of allies beneath it. Each player shuffles their deck, and then when defeated, remove this scheme from the game and return each ally beneath it to its owner's deck. So for that, Spider-Man has Black Cat, and Venom does not have a hero-specific ally, so this is going to be adding 2 threat to that. And then our Ultimate Bio Servant, Schema 1, Attack 1 for health, come in with toughness, and they get +1 for each attachment on them. So for our heroes, Spider-Man's going with Justice, Venom with Aggression. So starting with Spider-Man, he's got a Thwart of 1, Attack of 2, Defense of 3. Spider Sense as an interrupt when a villain initiates its attack against you, draw a card, and size of 5 and 10 health. Alter Ego, Recovery of 3, as a Scientist resource, generate a mental resource, hand size of 6. Got him set up with the basic Thwart upgrade, giving him +2 hit points and a Thwart of 1. So our last scenario, he ended with 10. So by the time we put this in, he's going to get up to 12 health to start with. Then we also have him set up with a Tactical Scanner. So discard it, remove it from the campaign log to draw 5 cards. And he ended up with Shang-Chi and White Tiger. Then for our Justice cards, we've got 2 Power of Justice, Sense of Justice, Under Surveillance, Counterintelligence, Spycraft, 2 Skilled Investigators, 3 Clear the Areas, 3 for Justice, and then their allies, Arrows, Quasar, Wraith, Agent Coulson, Quake, and Wiccan. And for our basic cards, we've got our 3 Resources, a Quinn Carrier, Nick Fury, and an Endurance. Then for Venom, Thwart of 1, Attack of 2, 2 Defense, control an additional upgrade that has a restricted keyword. Symbiotic Bond is a resource. Take a damage to generate a wild resource. In size of 5 and 12 health. Alter Ego, Recovery of 4. Still gets the additional upgrade with the restricted keyword. Armed and Ready for setup. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a weapon upgrade. Then add it to your hand. Hand size of 6 on this side. He's got a laser cannon that we can discard and remove from the campaign log to deal 5 damage to the villain and each enemy engaged with you. Got him set up with the basic attack upgrade, giving him +1 hit point and +1 attack. Last scenario, we ended up with 11. So putting this into play is going to take us up to 12. And he's also got Elektra and Moon Knight in his party. Then going with our aggression cards, we have 2 Power of Aggression, 3 Clobbers, 3 Piercing Strikes, 3 Relentless Assaults, Bug, Throg, Spider-Girl, Valkyrie, Tigra, Marvel Boy, Martial Prowess, and an Energy Spear. And our basic cards, we have our 3 Resources, Helicarrier, a Sidearm, and an Endurance. And after seeing that, I want a Sidearm in on this one too, so we're going to add that also. All right, finishing our setup, shuffling our encounter deck. Then each of our heroes gets 6 cards, starting with Flash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's got a Helicarrier, Martial Prowess, Run and Gun, a Pistol, Relentless Assault, and a Clobber. Keep the pistol and a Helicarrier. Drawing into a Clobber, Genius, Moon Knight, and a Throg. And we're going to discard until we find a weapon upgrade. which is going to be our sidearm we put in here. And then on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Clear the area, sidearm, clear the area, webbed up, wraith, and a swinging web kick. Well, I'm going to keep wraith and pitch everything else. Sense of Justice, Shang-Chi, a backflip, Wiccan, and Nick Fury. All right, we're going to go ahead and flip over. Going to bring in Moon Knight. 4 to 2, attack for 2, 3 health. After you play Moon Knight from your hand, spend a wild resource to draw 2 cards. We're going to take a damage to create that resource to draw into a run and gun and a bug. Then we're going to bring in a helicarrier, max 1 per player. It's an action, exhaust it, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card that player plays this phase by 1. Then we're going to bring in bugs, 4 to 1, attack of 1, 2 health. After your hero makes a basic attack, heal a damage from bug. Then we're going to make our next card 1 cheaper to put a sidearm on him. So attach ally gets +1 attack, and its attacks gain ranged. And we're going to thwart for 2. We'll attack for 2 to get rid of tough. Take a damage, then attack for 2, which will heal him. Actually, we're attacking for 3. Going to use his free resource to help pay for Nick Fury. 4 to 2, attack for 2, 3 health. And after he enters play, we're going to choose to draw 3 cards. Enhance Spider Sense, Web Shooter, and clear the area. And we'll go ahead and flip over. Going to use clear the area, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat on that scheme, draw a card. When defeated, first player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until they discard a minion and reveal that minion. All right, Zola's Mutate. Schema 1, attack for 2, 5 health. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until attack attachment's discarded. Attach it to him. That goes to the first player. Now we're looking for tech. Defensive programming, so he gets +2 hit points and guard. And we draw a card into a backflip. Going to bring in Wiccan. 4 to 1, attack of 1, 3 health. After he thwarts, discard the top card of the encounter deck. For each boost icon discarded this way, deal damage to an enemy. I'm going to thwart for 1. And deal 0 damage. Then we'll attack for 2 to get rid of this one. Attack for 2 to get rid of tough. Bring in Shang-Chi. 4 to 2, attack for 2, 3 health. After you're playing from your hand, spend an energy resource to stun an enemy. All out of cards. So coming in to attack for 2. And end her turn. So Venom's going to keep his pistol. Drawing into Spider Sense, Marvel Boy, behind enemy lines, and a clobber. And over here, webbed up, Spycraft, Web Shooter, Enhanced Spider Sense, and Skilled Investigator. So we get 2 threats and a counter. And attacking over here, we're just going to take it for 2, 3 damage, down to 8. Then we get hit for 2 more, down to 6. Attack over here, we draw into the Power of Justice. Then Nick is going to defend For 1-2, give the villain a tough status card. Then we're getting hit for 1. And encounter cards are attached to the minion with the most remaining hit points without another copy of pain inhibitors. He's got defensive programming, +2 hit points, and gains retaliate 1. Lovely. And over here, Berserk Mutate, Schema 0, attack of 2, 3 health, quick strike, so coming at us for 2. Down to 9. And pass first player. All right, we're going to bring out a skilled investigator, put on us, play under any player's control, max 1 per player, hero response after side scheme's defeated, exhausts this to draw a card. Then we're going to thwart for 2. So when defeated, remove this scheme from the game and return each ally beneath it to its owner's hand. So we're getting Black Cat. Then draw a card. The Quasar. Then Shang-Chi will attack for 2. Wiccan will thwart for 1. Which is going to deal 2 damage somewhere, and that's just dealing damage, so we don't have to worry about his retaliate. Bring in a web shooter, gets 3 counters on it. Hero resource, exhaust this, remove a counter from it to generate a wild resource. So that's getting 3. Then we're going to bring in Quasar, thwart 1, attack for 2, 3 health. After he enters play, remove a threat from each scheme in play. Then he's going to attack for 2 over here. Get retaliated on and take his normal damage. Bug has range, so he doesn't care about the retaliate. So attacking for 2. So 6 out of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 health. We're going to play Spider Sense, giving us his base ability. When the villain initiates an attack against you, draw a card. Make your next card 1 cheaper to bring in our pistol. Attack for 1, 2, 3, and 4 to finish this guy off. He took a damage earlier. We just attacked to heal that. Moon Knight attacks for 2. And Ender turn. Keeping Marvel Boy for Venom. And over here, keeping Enhanced Spider Sense and Black Cat. So we've got Quake, Spider Tracer, and for Justice. And over here, Power of Aggression, Savage Attack, behind enemy lines, and some more Power of Aggression. So 2 threats and a token. Zola attacks over here, so we draw into Counterintelligence. And Quasar defends for base 2, 3, 4. Then he's attacking for 2. We'll just take it down to 7. Attacking over here, we draw a card. Project Rebirth. Moon Knight defends for 1, 2. And counter cards. All right, we're in Hero. Zola attacks you, and we are stunned. So we're getting attacked. It's not limited, so we draw into a Quinn Carrier. Shang-Chi will defend. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage coming in. And we are stunned. And over here, attach to the minion with the most remaining hit points. Gives them +2 health and guard. Pass first player. Let's see, we're at 6 health there. We're going to have Bug Attack with ranged. Get rid of tough. We're going to make our next card one cheaper. Savage Attack, deal 5 damage to an enemy if you paid for this card using only energy resources. We're making the wild an energy. This attack gains overkill. So he's got 3 more health. 2 breaks through. Marvel Boy comes in. When he attacks, spend a physical resource. So this attack gains piercing and ranged. So he's going to come in and attack. We're going to spend a resource, making it physical. So he's got ranged down to 24. I'm going to attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 20. Get retaliated on. Flip on over. Bring in Project Rebirth as an alter ego action. Exhaust it. Choose either draw a card or heal 3 damage from Flash Thompson. We're going to heal 3 up to 7. We attacked. That healed. We are going to bring in a Quinn Carrier, play only for an Avenger. We are exhausted to generate a wild resource. And we're going to use that in a Web Shooter to bring in Quake. Thwart 1, attack for 2, 2 health. After minion schemes, exhaust her to deal 2 damage to that minion. Coming in and thwarting for 1. And we are going to attack to get rid of stunned. And end her turn. Holding on to 2 cards. Drawing White Tiger for Justice and a Skilled Investigator. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Locked and loaded, our other pistol, Valkyrie, Energy Spear, Strength, and a Piercing Strike. So 2 threats. We're going to get our 3rd token here, which means discard cards from top of the encounter deck till a minion's discarded. Put that minion into play. The Quick Strike is when engaged. But with the first player, we're not in hero form, so just sits there. Then Scheming for 2. Place a test counter on the main scheme. With the 2 threats. He schemes for 0. Attacking over here, we draw a card. And then Quake defends for 1, 2, 3. And counter cards. Insight 1. When revealed, place a test counter on the main scheme. Bummer. Surge and exhaust your identity card. Go ahead and take it. And now the villain's going to attack us. So we draw a card into some energy. Defend with Wiccan. And 4 damage coming our way. And pass first player. All right, we're going to bring in Black Cat. Thwart 1, attack 1, 2 health, no consequential damage. Force response after you player. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Add each card with a printed mental resource discarded this way to our hand. We got a mental and not a mental. So for Justice, removing 4 threat from a scheme. Bring in White Tiger, thwart 3, attack 1, 3 health. After you player from your hand, spend a mental resource to remove 3 threat from a scheme. Just coming in and thwarting for 3 or 2. Attack for 1. Play a Skilled Investigator over here on Flash, because he needs more cards. We are going to heal for 3 up to 10. We're going to go ahead and recover. It's going to take us up to 13. Flip over, make our next card 1 cheaper. To bring in Valkyrie, after she enters play, deal 3 damage to minion if we paid for this using a mental or energy resource. take this guy out. Then attack for 2, down to 18. Get retaliated on for that. Wait a second, not doing that. I need that energy spear. What am I thinking? Do over. All right, still using a helicarrier. We'll bring it in with their strength. Doing a 2 damage, which is enough anyway. Then attack. All right, we're back on track. Then we're going to attach an energy spear, giving us +2 attack, and piercing has to go into a guardian, which Bug is. So that's going to be attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, and we have ranged. It's down to 14. Then we're going to bring in our other pistol. And end our turn. All right, over here, keeping both of those. Do I want to flip over? I think I will. Should have done that earlier, but it's all good. Power of Justice, Swinging Web Kick, Aunt May, and Endurance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Piercing Strike, Tigra, Multi-Gun, Relentless Assault, and some Tendrils. 2 threat, get our 3rd token again. So he's going to get a friend. The Bio Servant. All right, Zola's Scheming for base 2, 3. That guy's scheming for 1. Attacking over here, we draw a card. Marvel Boy defends for 1, 2. Let's see, place a test counter on the main scheme. For each test counter on the main scheme, Zola gets +1 to this. Then encounter card, acceleration, and shuffle. All right, I think we got a system going up, but don't like Bug having damage on him because I know what cards are in here. All right, some implants. Attach the minion with the most remaining hit points. Gives them +2 health, +2 scheme, +2 attack. And that also gives him +1 attack for having an attachment on him. Then we've got another servant. And we pass first player. All right, we're going to make our next card 1 cheaper. Piercing Strike, deal 3 damage to an enemy. This attack gains piercing. So take toughness off and 3 damage on that. Then we're going to attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is more than enough to take care of him. Which heals Bug. Then Bug attacks for 1, 2, 3, 4 with piercing. Then we'll bring in a multi-gun. Hero action, exhaust it. Choose one of the following. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Choose a player, deal a damage to each minion engaged with that player, or remove 2 threat from a scheme. We're going to go with the 2 threat. And over here, use his free resource to bring in Aunt May. Exhaust her to heal 4 damage from Peter Parker. Done. Up to 11, because he now goes that high in health. Flip on over. Thwart for 3. Swinging Web Kick, deal 8 damage to an enemy. Down to 6. Get retaliated on. Attack for 2, down to 4. Get retaliated on. And then Quinn Carrier to give us +3 hit points. Up to 12. And Black Cat does not like the retaliate, so she's going to sit there and wait. So ending her turn. Keeping our enhanced spider sense. Coulson for justice. Spider Tracer and a swinging web kick. Over here, endurance and an encounter card and shuffling. So we've got 4 more cards coming. One, two, three, 4. Run and gun, piercing, strike, run and gun, and a clobber. So 3 threat and a token. Getting attacked, drawing a card, savage attack. Valkyrie jumps in the way for 1, 2. Shuffle this guy back in there. And attacking over here, draw into arrows, get a card, and shuffle. White Tiger's got this one for 4 damage coming in. Let's get some encounter cards. First one, struggle for control. You may flip to alter ego form. We will. We can exhaust Flash Thompson and take 2 damage to discard this. Or put 1 set-aside copy of Enraged Symbiote into play, engage with the first player. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. We'll go ahead and bring in another friend. And then attach to the villain, gets Retaliate 1, which equals Retaliate 2. Hero action, exhaust your hero, spend 2 energy resources to discard it, gives them +1 attack. Over here, attach to the minion with the most remaining health. So +2 health, +2 scheme, +2 attack on the symbiote. That's nice. And Zola attacks you and you are stunned. For that, we're going to finally play our 1 card. So we're going to use the Quinn Carrier and enhanced Spider Sense. When a treachery card's revealed, cancel those effects. And pass first player. All right, we're going to bring in Agent Coulson. Thwart a 2, attack of 1, 3 health. During your display, search your deck and discard pile for a preparation card and add it to your hand. Then shuffle our deck. We want a little Spycraft. And with that, play only if you control a spy character, which he is. Interrupt when you reveal an encounter card, discard this, cancel the effects of that card, and discard it, then reveal another one. Then he's going to thwart for 2. I guess we need to pay for the Spycraft. That'll be a web shooter doing that. Then Black Cat will attack for 1. Spider-Man will... he'll thwart for 2. Then over here, we're going to use Project Rebirth to draw a card into Electra. Flip over, attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which heals him, so he can attack for 4 with ranged, which is going to take Zola down. So, scheme of 3, attack for 2, still retaliate. When revealed, each player searches encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and reveals it. And 16 health per player, so 32. I think I'm just going to go with the 2 servants. All right, multi-gun to get rid of Tough. Run and gun to ready Venom and each weapon upgrade I control. Then we're going to exhaust, spending 2 energy resources to get rid of the concussion blasters. Multi-gun for 2 damage. Bring in Electra, thwarter 1, attack 3, 3 health. After you play her from your hand, we can spend a physical resource to deal 3 damage to an enemy. It's actually not a bad thing to do. Take a damage. We're going to deal 3 damage up here, down to 29. Then attack for 3 to get rid of this servant. And end our turn. All right, keeping arrows. Clear the area, energy, sense of justice, and wraith. Marvel Boy, Spider Girl, some tendrils, behind enemy lines, and a genius. 3 threat, 3rd token. Spider-Man's getting a friend that is put into play somewhere. All right, with quick strike. So 2 damage. Then Zola attacks. We draw a card. We're going to defend. So to base 2, 3, 4. We end up taking 1 damage down to 9. Then this thing hits us for 2 more down to 7. All right, getting attacked over here. Draw a card. And we're going to have Electra take it for 4. Then that guy hits us for 1. And counter cards. The villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. Bummer. All right, so attacking, we draw a card. Nick Fury. Coulson's going to defend for 2, 3, 4 damage. And that guy hits us for another 2. That's been, what, 6 damage he's done to us. And over here, attach to the menu with the most remaining hit points. That's going to be this guy. Plus 2 hit points and retaliate, and plus 1 more attack since he's got an attachment. And pass first player. All right, so Venom is going to attack for 5 to take this guy out, which is going to heal him. So he can attack with piercing and ranged. Gets through the toughness. 4 damage, still has 2 health left. Spider Girl comes in, thwarter 1, attack for 2, 2 health. After your player from your hand, stun and confuse a minion. So he's stunned and confused. And then he gets beat up. And since he's knocked out, the retaliate doesn't do anything. Then we'll bring in Marvel Boy, thwart 0, attack for 2, 2 health. And we're going to spend a physical resource when he attacks to give him ranged. So he's attacking physical resource down to 27. Then multi-gun to remove 2 threat. Then over here, we're going to make the first card played over here 1 cheaper to bring in a sidearm. Attached to an ally, give him plus 1 attack and range. So she's happy to attack now for 2. Down to 25. We will use the Quinn Carrier to bring in Nick Fury and draw 3 cards with him. Quasar, clear the area, and another clear the area. We'll bring in Quasar, thwart 1, attack for 2, 3 health, removes a threat from each scheme and play when he comes in. Then attacking for 2, down to 23. And Nick's going to attack for 2, down to 21. They both get punched a little bit harder than normal with that. Then we're going to flip over, and Aunt May's going to heal him for 4, up to 9. And end her turn. All right, we're going to keep both those cards. Wiccan, Shang-Chi, Power of Justice, and Counterintelligence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Martial Prowess, Clobber, Power of Aggression, Strength, and a Throg. So 3 threat and a counter. Getting attacked, drawing a card, Piercing Strike. Marvel Boy defends, base 2, place a test counter on the main scheme. Scheming over here for 3, place a test counter on the main scheme. For each test counter on the main scheme, he gets +1. So that's going to be a total of 6 threats. And that only triggers at the start of the turn. I should have defended with Nick, but oh well. All right, counter cards. Place 4 threat on each side scheme. If there are none, we're going to go discarding until we find one. Sure, there's one in here somewhere. Could be wrong. Last one. Zola's Experiments. Force response. After a minion enters play, attach the topmost tech attachment in the encounter discard pile to that minion. Comes in with 6 threat. Well, I guess lucky for us, there's not going to be a discard pile. Unlucky for us, gets another acceleration token. All right. When revealed, discard an upgrade or support your control. If no cards were discarded this way, this card gains Surge. We are going to get rid of our tactical scanner and pass first player. All right, Aunt May is going to heal us up to 11. Oh yeah, and Nick is gone. And we're going to use his free resource and the Quinn Carrier to bring in arrows. During his play, we can confuse some minions if we had some. He's going to thwart for 2. We'll go ahead and flip over. We're going to bring in Shang-Chi. Thwart to 2, attack 2, 3 health. After he enters play, we're going to spend a wild resource down here as energy to stun an enemy. Actually, before we can do that, Quasar is going to attack for 2, down to 19. Then Shang-Chi does his thing with that to stun Zola. Then thwarting for 2. Clear the area, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat on the scheme, draw a card. So we're drawing into Under Surveillance. Also triggers us drawing a card from that. Swinging Web Kick. And he gets to draw a card into an energy. Then a Web Kick, dealing 8 damage to an enemy. Down to 11. We get retaliated on down to 10. Black Cat is going to attack for 2, down to 9. Spider-Man will attack for 2, down to 7. Goes down to 9. Spider-Girl attacks for 2, down to 5. Bug attacks for 4, down to 1. And we'll let Venom come in for the rest. And we've got some clobber, piercing strikes, and a throg if needed. So Venom and Spider-Man taking out Zola. All right, for victory, each player engaged with an enemy records they are engaged with an enemy in a campaign log. We've cleared out everything. If the Hydra Prison side scheme is still in play, record it. We took care of it. The Hydra Prison side scheme is not in play. Each player in hero form, we're both in hero form, and it's not in play. We can replace our basic condition upgrade with its improved side. So our improved basic attack is going to let us, after we defeat a minion, exhausted to draw a card. And over on this side, after we defeat a side scheme, exhaust to draw a card. So that is it for scenario 4. Our next is going to be the final battle going up against the Red Skull. So as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.